Okay, we're going to fill in these charts together, and it's important that you don't lose these notes because this is something you're going to refer back. These two charts are something you're going to refer back to over and over again to help you with this. So the first thing I do is I give you some degree values, and I'm going to ask you to convert it to radians, which hopefully you're good at by now. 0 degrees, that's just 0 radians. For 30 degrees, you take 30 divided by 180 and change it to a fraction, and you get pi over 6. 45 divided by 180, and then is 1/4, put a pi in the numerator, so it's pi over 4. 60 divided by 180 is 1/3, so pi over 3. 90 divided by 180 is 1/2, so pi over 2. 180 divided by 180 is 1, so pi. 270 divided by 180 is 3/2, so 3 pi over 2. Now what I want you to do, I think it's easier as degree values. Please make sure your calculator is in degree mode by hitting mode and arrowing down so that way degree is highlighted. And what I want you to do is to type sine 0 in your calculator, and you get 0. Now type sine 30, and you get 1/2. Sine 45, you get this decimal, 0.7071. And it goes on. But that decimal you do need to know. That decimal as a fraction, your calculator will not do it for you, is radical 2 over 2. Sine 60 gives you another decimal, 0.8660. You need to know that that's radical 3 over 2. And then sine 90 is 1. Sine 180 is 0. Sine 270 is -1. So there's only 2 in that section that you're going to need to know how to convert. Let's look at cosine. Cos of 0 is 1. Cos of 30. Oh no, you get that 0.8660 again, but from above you know that that's radical 3 over 2. Cos of 45, 0.7071. From above you know that's radical 2 over 2. Cosine of 60 is 1/2. Cos of 90 is 0. Cos of 180 is -1. Cos of 270 is 0. So those ones repeat, not too bad. For tangent, tangent of 0 is 0. Tangent of 30 is 0.5774. That is radical 3 over 3. So that's another one you'll have to know. Tangent of 45 is 1. Tangent of 60 is 1.7321. You will need to know that that's radical 3. Tangent 90 gives you an error. Whenever you see error in your calculator, it's undefined. Tangent of 180 is 0. And tangent of 270 is undefined. For the reciprocals, the first thing we have is to convert these to radians, which we already did above, so let's just copy that over quickly. 0, pi over 6, pi over 4, pi over 3, pi over 2, pi, and 3 pi over 2. Then we're going to type cosecant, we are going to type cosecant of 0. The way we type cosecant, remember, is 1 over sine. So when you type 1 over sine 0 in your calculator, you get an error, so it's undefined. And then cosecant of 30 is 2. Cosecant of 45 is 1.4142. You need to know that that's radical 2. Cosecant of 60 is 1.1547. That's another one you're going to have to know. It's going to be 2 radical 3 over 3. And then cosecant of 90 is 1. Cosecant of 180 is undefined. Cosecant of 270 is -1. For secant, you type it in as 1 over cos. 1 over cos of 0 is 1. 1 over cos of 30 is 2 radical 3 over 3. We see it from above. 1 over cos of 45 is radical 2. 1 over cos of 60 is 2. 1 over cos of 90 is an error, so undefined. 1 over cos of 180 is -1. And secant of 270 is also undefined. For cotangent, the way we type it in is 1 over tan. 1 over tan of 0, or cotangent of 0, is undefined. Cotangent of 30 is radical 3. Cotangent of 45 is 1. Cotangent of 90 is radical 3 over 3. Cotangent of 90 is 0. Cotangent of 180 is undefined. And cotangent of 270 is 0. It says find the exact value of the following. You can type them in your calculator or you can look above. We want sine 30 degrees. So I go up here to sine 30, and I see it matches up to be a 1/2. So sine of 30 is 1/2. And I'm going to have you guys finish the rest because that shouldn't be too easy. You're just looking at your charts above to fill in the blanks. The one that's not there, I believe, is the tan 3 pi over 4. Type it in your calculator. When you type tan 3 pi over 4 in your calculator, you get a -1. So if you don't see it up there, just try typing it. If you didn't get a -1, your calculator needs to be in radian mode. So you'd have to hit mode and arrow down to radians. The reason I know that is because there are pi's in the problem. When there are pi's in the problem, you want it to be in radians. The next thing I want to talk about are coterminal angles. For a coterminal angle, well, let's first talk about the first thing. An angle in standard position whose terminal side lies on either the x or the y axes. So if the ending of your angle lands on an axis, it's called a quadrantal angle. An angle that has the same terminal side as another angle, that's your coterminal angle. Let's look at our pictures. 120 degrees is the same angle as -240 degrees because they end in the same spot. An angle of 50 degrees is the same as an angle of 410 degrees because they end in the same spot. Notice I was talking about before an initial side and a terminal side. Our initial side will always start on the positive x-axis, and our terminal side is somewhere else. First part, just practice drawing angles. It says draw each angle in standard position. So 45 degrees. The x-axis is 0. Top of the y is 90. All the halfway around is 180. 3/4 of the way around is 270. And all the way around would be 360. I'm given 45 degrees. I know 45 degrees is between 0 and 90. So I draw my line there and I say it's 45 degrees. Looking at the next one, it's a negative angle. When I draw negative angles, I just go in the negative direction. So it's going to be 0, -90, -180, and -270. I know -150 is between -90 and -180, so I draw my line there. And I said that's -150 degrees. For 8 pi over 3, I'm going to convert it to degrees first. So I'm going to take 8 times 180 and divide by 3. And that gives me 480 degrees. So it's positive, so it would be 0, 90, 180, and 270. All the way around is 360. Well, this thing goes all the way around. Alright, so when I go all the way around, I've used 360 degrees worth. 360 degrees worth would give me an extra 120. So I need to go 120 degrees more, which I know is somewhere between 90 and 180. So I'm going to continue my spiral. And I'm going to label that as the original 8 pi over 3. I'm going to skip this one. We're not going to worry about that. Next piece, name the angle, or name the quadrant which each angle lies. What you're going to do is graph it. So positive 300 is 0, 90, 180, 270, and all the way around would be 360. Positive 300, I know it's in quadrant, or I know it's somewhere between 270 and 360. That is in quadrant 3. I'm going to have you guys try the second one, the -400. And for the 3 pi, we are going to convert it to degrees, and we get 540 degrees, 3 times 180. So 0, 90, 180, sorry, that's a mess, 270, 360. So I know I have to go around once for the 360. I'm going to take 540 and subtract 360. And I'll be left with 180. I need to go 180 degrees more, which is exactly on the negative x-axis. So this one doesn't land in a quadrant, it's quadrantal. And last piece I want to talk about, sorry again for the length of this video, I know it's a little longer than usual. For each given angle, find a coterminal angle, either between 0 and 360 or 0 and 2 pi. So the first thing we're going to do is graph the angle they give us, 412. So 0, 90, 180, 270, all the way around would be 360. So I do need to go all the way around. I'm going to take 412, I'm going to subtract the 360 for going around once, and I'm left with 52 degrees. So I'm going to go, I know that's somewhere between 0 and 90, and my line ends there. Now I want an angle that ends in the same spot. An angle that ends in the same spot will be this red angle I'm drawing over top of it. The amount of that red angle is actually just this piece right here, 52 degrees. I'm going to have you guys try the second one. I'm not going to ever do the fourth one, and I'll do the third one with you guys right now, and then I'll be done. So negative pi over 2. When I change it to degrees, it's negative 90 degrees. So I know I'm going in the clockwise direction instead. Negative 90 is right on the axis. I want a coterminal angle. Well, the coterminal angle is going to be my black angle, the other side. That is worth 270 degrees positive. So I'm going to say that the coterminal angle is 270 degrees, and as a radian value, it's 3 pi over 2. And we'll talk more about this tomorrow.